This unassuming road in Roswell, Georgia, is the home of the Computer Museum of America. Late last year, while visiting Atlanta, I decided to take a short detour just north of the city to visit the museum. Just through the main door is an enticing display of vintage calculators. These include mechanical examples such as the Magic Brain and the famous Curta calculator, as well as educational examples such as Texas Instruments' Little Professor. Opposite the main interior entrance to the museum is this magnificent sculpture of a cow with gilded horns and constructed from vintage circuit boards and processors. You enter the museum through the gift shop, and they certainly know their audience. Once through, you're greeted by a statue of Asimo, Honda's famous humanoid robot. He stands ready next to a sign allowing you to take a photograph of a map of the museum. Entering the museum and turning to the right, we enter the timeline of computer history, where we first encounter the data point 2200, an early programmable serial terminal. Next, we come across the Kenback-1, an early computer based on discrete TTL logic. While only a handful were ever made, if you'd like to learn more about the Kenback-1, do check out my programming video, which I'll link to in the description. Further along, we see an example of a Xerox Alto, the first computer with a graphical user interface. Next, we encounter two early kit computers based on the Intel 8008 CPU. This includes the Mark VIII, which was featured on the front cover of Radio Electronics magazine. Just 6 months later, Popular Electronics responded by featuring the Altair 8800 computer on the front cover of their January 1975 edition. The Altair 8800 contains an Intel 8080 CPU and was the target of Microsoft's first product, Altair Basic. To learn more about the Altair and how to load Microsoft's Basic onto the machine, check out my video, which is linked in the description. Next to the Altair, the museum also has the compatible MSI 8080, which was a clone of the Altair and based on the same S100 bus. The museum also has the rare Apple I computer on display. The machine came without a power supply, keyboard, case, or display, although the museum's example does have the audio cassette interface board pre-installed. Further along, we see the Sol terminal computer by Processor Technology. This company started out by producing add-on boards for the Altair 8800 and compatible S100 computers before branching out to create their own machines. Next, we see the Apple II, Apple's breakout computer, and one available from 1977 all the way through to 1993. Further along in the display, we see the TRS-80 by Radio Shack, as well as a Commodore PET 2001, with its chiclet keyboard and built-in cassette recorder for data storage. Then, IBM's 1981 offering, the IBM Personal Computer. Next, the museum invites us to lift an early luggable computer, the Compaq Portable 286, which tips the scales at a svelte 30.5 pounds. Next, we encounter the Osborne 1, an early portable machine with a handy built-in caddy for additional disk storage. And next, we encounter Compaq's very first product, the Compaq Portable. The final machine along this wall is the Apple Lisa. At the end of this first display are 3 more machines from the mind of Steve Jobs. The Macintosh, the Next Cube, and the iMac G3. Opposite these early computers are a sequence of glass cabinets containing artifacts showing the progression of computer technology from the pre-1950s all the way through to the present day. The display includes the 1963 Digicomp 1 by ESR, an early binary digital computer aimed at children. To learn more about this mechanical marvel, check out my recent YouTube video, which I'll link to in the description. Also included is a Heathkit branded cassette tape, as well as the Altair Basic reference manual, Altair Basic on paper tape, and the Magnavox Odyssey, the first commercial home video games console. The display also features an early single-board computer, the CMoA. Among the home computers, we have a Texas Instruments TI-99/4, an Atari 400, Commodore VIC-20 and Commodore 64 machines, as well as the Sinclair ZX80, ZX81, and Timex Sinclair 1000 for the US market. In the 1980s, we see the arrival of the NES, the Game Boy, and Sony's portable electronic devices such as the Walkman and television. The museum prominently displays the Hayes Smart Modem, and in the final cabinet for the 90s and beyond, we have Microsoft Bob, Microsoft Windows, a Nintendo DS, an iPad, and even this example of an early Apple Watch. Behind the cabinets is a truly fabulous timeline of computer history, including many things to search for throughout your visit. The museum also includes an interactive retro gaming area where you can play on consoles such as this early Vectrex and this TI-99 with a Hunt the Wumpus cartridge, and a TRS-80 on which you can enter your own programs in BASIC. To learn more about Hunt the Wumpus, check out my video about a port of this exact version to the Sinclair ZX Spectrum, linked in the description. At the time of my visit, the museum appeared to be preparing for a new exhibit based around these fantastic-looking arcade machines. The next gallery focuses on card punch technology, including this card punch for a Jacquard loom, a so-called portable Jacquard loom, which is using these cards to produce an intricate woven pattern, and finally an IBM card punch and card sorting machine. The exhibit also includes a full-length display of a variety of brightly coloured punched cards, and a wall detailing the history of punched card technology. The next gallery is for the PDP era, showing a variety of Digital Equipment Corporation PDP machines. Unfortunately, during my visit, none of the machines were labelled and many appear to be in very poor condition. I think this would be an excellent area for the museum to focus on in future. The next exhibit is an extensive display of semiconductor chips. A comprehensive history of silicon technology is demonstrated, including features about the 7400 series logic chips, the TI TMS 9900, which powers the TI 99/4, a number of examples of the Zilog Z80 processor found in the TRS-80 and Sinclair ZX Spectrum, and the Intel 8080, which powered the Altair 8800. Also featured is the TI TMS 1000 series of microcontrollers. These power devices such as the Big Track, the Science Fair microcomputer trainer, and the Gakken FX R165, which I've shown in a previous video. On the opposite wall, we have the Byte magazine display, which features the front cover of every Byte magazine from 1975 to 1998. As well as some wonderful enlarged original artwork. Next, we visit the expansive supercomputer gallery. The gallery features a number of iconic Cray supercomputers. At the end of the first gallery, we see a Cray XMP, which is the supercomputer which runs Jurassic Park in the original novel. However, to the side we see a connection machine CM2. This is an early version of the CM5 which was featured in the film adaptation of the novel, where it's instantly recognisable by its panels of blinking red LED lights. The museum also has an example of a Cray 2, also known as the fish tank, for its unique liquid cooling design. As well as Intel's so-called personal supercomputers, the IPSC-1 and 2. The gallery does include some true consumer electronics in the form of the Sony PlayStation 3, which, using its unique cell processor, was able to contribute to the Folding at Home project. The Supercomputer Gallery includes an exhibit featuring the use of computer technology in films and animation. The exhibit includes an original Pixar computer. The gallery also includes example machines from Sun Microsystems, as well as more modern Cray machines and some supercomputers from EMC. The gallery includes extensive Cray paraphernalia, including frivolous examples such as these flip-flops, as well as expansion boards such as memory and processors. The museum also has this fascinating device for removing and installing oversized cards in these unique machines. The museum also has an extensive gallery on space exploration and visits to the Moon. This includes a reproduction lunar lander and some dioramas, including one of Alan Shepard playing golf while on the Moon. This gallery highlights Apollo's role in modern computer technology, including the evolution of memory, from vacuum tube to delay line to magnetic core memory and modern flash memory devices, as well as the important role that women played in the construction of core memory and of specialist rope memory for the Apollo program. The gallery also includes a life-size cutout of Margaret Hamilton standing next to the printed source code listings of her software as used in the Apollo program. The gallery also includes examples of equipment from IBM and Bailey similar to those used by NASA. As we exit the Space Gallery, there's a small exhibit focused on the cracking of the Enigma machine. Outside of the main galleries, the museum has a few additional items on display. This includes a shrink-wrapped copy of E.T. for the Atari 2600. This game was famous for being absolutely terrible, and a large amount of the inventory was buried in a landfill in New Mexico. There's a Borg mannequin used as a background prop in the film Star Trek First Contact, robot hand props from Robin Williams' Bicentennial Man, and a wonderful example of a Sinclair C5, an early personal electric vehicle designed and built in the UK by Clive Sinclair. There's a final interactive exhibit in the form of the IBM Scalextric 2 electric typewriter. And, as with all museums, you do indeed exit through the gift shop. And while I was sorely tempted, I didn't pick up this YouTube subscribe pillow. I hope you've enjoyed this walkthrough of the Computer Museum of America, and if you're ever in the general area, I'd strongly encourage you to give it a visit. But for now, that's all for this video, and I hope to speak to you again soon in the next one.